Hello and welcome to this lecture where we'll go into packaging a Python project. As you will see, packaging a Python project will make it much simpler with importing, because as you might have noticed, when you're importing modules from different folders, it might give you troubles in Python. However, when you have packaged it, you can pip install it. And when you have pip installed it as the package, it is very intuitive to use the modules that you have created. So we will create a real application here that we'll call Travel Planner that will use an API. And as you will see, this application contains a lot of different modules separated into different directories. And this is kind of the idea, so that you can see when you're growing a larger and larger project, you really should package it. We will move on to Visual Studio Code. So in a previous lecture, you have already seen me working with Travel API from Trafiklab. So I won't go through that. You can go in there to look at my previous lecture. So I'll just create a new terminal. And let's start with creating a virtual environment. So UV, VENV. So now we have a virtual environment. Let's activate that. Source.venv bin activate. Okay, it has been activated. And you can see that from the parentheses, but it's not always sure that the parentheses is there. It depends on how your terminal is configured. So sometimes it might not be there, and then you can just do echo to check that you are there. So virtual env, like this. You have dollar here and virtual env. It means that you will take this variable. And if you're typing this one, you should get something with .venv here. If this is empty, then you're not in a virtual environment. It is as simple as that, okay? So I will clean this terminal and let's move on. Let's start with installing a package. Actually, should I install a package? No, I should not. I will create some folders now. So make clear, I will create a backend. I'll create a front end folder and I will create a utils folder like this. Okay, so now we have 3 folders, and I will put in some, let's try going into the backend first. I will create the touch, let's see, backend / connect to api.py. So here I have created this Python module. So let's create another one, backend / trips. And then in front end, let's create the touch dashboard and touch plot maps. This will continue. Oh, actually, I put them outside, but they should be inside. So let's move them into front end / plot maps.py. Move it inside mv dashboard into dashboard.py here. So I basically just move these two. So you can see in the front end, we have these ones. And in utils, I will create a constants. So let's do that. Touch utils / constants.py, like this. And also I will create another directory called tests and an explorations directory. Okay, so now you can see that this project is already growing, but we can see that the scripts are empty. All of them are empty, right? So if I go into each of them, they're empty. And these folders are empty right now, but let's create something more. Let's do touch exploration / exploring travel planner.ipnb. So I have this one here, and yes, basically like this. Utils, we have some helper functions. We should have a touch in utils. I want to have a run dashboard as well. Okay, so now you can see that we have created some kind of skeleton for this project. And usually it's not that I have all of this in my mind directly when I'm creating a project. So I don't create the whole skeleton, everything, all the scripts in my projects from the start. Instead, I will create some parts. For example, backend, frontend, useful, and some explorations also useful, and tests and utils. So these folders are quite good for a starting point. But okay, let's continue. Let's do something simple to start here. Let's go into my backend, connect to API. I will actually, and also I will have a .env file. I forgot that, touch.env. And in the .env file, of course, you should put in your credentials for API key so that you can use that one. So I will pause this video and come back. Okay, I've placed my API key into my .env, and now I will copy and paste the code from the lecture note. And actually in the lecture note, I didn't have this if then the name equals then the main, but I will have that, and I will just test this out to see that it works. So when I'm running this one, you can see that, yeah, it works. I get the data. So it's just using this method. So I'm creating a class from this resrobot. I'm creating an instance from this resrobot class. And from this instance, I use this method. And this method basically goes into a endpoint with a default location ID. So then I get back the timetable here for this particular location ID. And you know from last lecture how to obtain the location ID for a particular location. So I won't go through that. Instead, you can see that this works. So remember, we have this timetable arrival. So let's try, if we are going to some other file here, let's do like this. I'll go into trips, and for example, I want to do this. I want to have from connect to API import resrobot because I want to use that one. So resrobot equals resrobot like this. Resrobot equals to this one. Print resrobot dot, for example, time. Yeah, I use this one. Timetable arrival, for example. When I run this one, we get data and it works. Yeah, there's no problems. Importing from a sibling is no problem. However, what if I'm inside of, for example, dashboard and I want to get something from trips? Or I want to get something from connect to API. How will I do it? So if I try to do like this, from backend.connect to API, import resrobot, for example. And I want to try to print resrobot, do print resrobot like this, dot timetable arrival. Let's do like this. And if I run this one, you can see there is an error. It says traceback package not. Let me clean this one. It's hard to read. Here, module not found error. No module named backend. Increase this one. Okay, no module named backend. So how will I do this? If I just do connect to API and I run this one, yeah, no module named connect to API. I'm inside of frontend, remember? So look, if we look at, I'm in travel planner, so 3 dots. And you can see this is my folder structure. I have backend. I'm inside of frontend. How can I get to these modules? What to do is basically like this. So there are several ways to do it. One way is to use sys.path.append, and then you can append different modules from different paths from different modules. But that is not recommended. You can also set a Python path. That is not recommended either, as both of them is not sustainable when you are growing the project, as well as Python path is using absolute paths, which could work if you're using, for example, Docker. Then Python path is viable. However, the best way is to use a package so that we're packaging this. And in order to package this, we need to add some things here. We need to add a file called dunder init.py. So for each of the folders, we should add this one, .py. Actually, for Python 3.3 and forwards, you don't really need this. But as I'm using something called find packages in setup tools later on, you will see that we actually do need this. So I'll continue, create init.py. Actually, I can copy this one. Go into tests, create that one. Utils, create that one. Backend, yes, I have that. And also the root, I will put it in. And I will also create a setup.py. So this is very important. So the setup.py, this is where you'll put the metadata and the data on your set when you're installing the package so that you can pip install it. So you need to have a setup.py. And here from setup tools, this is a built-in package. So import setup. From setup tools, import find packages. And we'll start with printing what this will give us. Find packages. So when I'm running this one, you can see that it finds all these packages. It finds frontend, explorations, it finds tests, tils, and backend. So basically it finds all of this, which has init.py inside of it. So if I remove this one, for example, and I run this one, and you can see utils is not found now. So because it doesn't have init.py, but I will put it in. So for consistency, I should also add in explorations, even if I don't use it. And I also put in tests, which when we have unit tests. But these are not, we don't want the user to be able to import stuffs from, right? So then we need to do something called exclude. So we can use find packages and we can exclude different things. So what I want to do is find packages, exclude. What do I want to exclude? It's a tuple. So I will exclude everything that has test star. So everything that has test and everything that is called explorations. Like this. So if I run this one, you can see that only frontend, utils, and backend is found. Okay, great. So then we'll package this backend, explorations, and frontend so that we can use this when we're importing. Okay, so in order to package the backend, frontend, and utils, let's do this. We have setup, our setup function from setup tools. And here we should have a name for our package. So I will call it travel planner. So this is what you will use when you're pip installing it. So then we have a version as well. I have so version number you can choose, for example, if it's in beta, you don't want to choose 1.0 yet, or in development, you maybe choose 0.0.0. So it's up to you. Actually, I will choose version 1.0.0. So it doesn't really matter. Just that whenever you're doing a new one and you're installing it, you can increment the numbers. Actually, I could have chosen 001 or something. But let's do like this. It doesn't matter for this lecture at least. Description. So I will have a description here. So this package is used for travel planning in public transport in Sweden. In Sweden, it has backend code, front-end code, and utils. So this is multi-line string. Let's continue. Author. It's me, Kokchun. We can continue with author email. Just type in your email. Install. So this is quite important. Install requires. Then you can see what type of packages that your installation is based upon. So for example, mine is based upon Pandas, of course. Streamlit, because I will use that one for the dashboard. So Streamlit. I will also use Request. I will use something called Folium for the maps. Okay, and then I will continue here that the packages to choose. So here I can specify the packages I want, or I can use the find packages. Say that we have a very large package here. Then we need to find all the packages or large library. So find packages, exclude. I will choose this one. So basically copy it here, or I can type it out. Exclude equals to test star, comma, explorations, like this. So this will find the front end, back end, and utils. Okay, basically like this. To run this one, if I run this one, nothing will happen. Instead, I need to do Python. I need to pip install. Let's do that. I'm in Travel Planner. I'm in the root, and in the root we have setup, right? If I do 3 dot, you can see here, setup.py is in the root. So since it's in the root, we can install it using uv pip install. Let's see, what should I install? uv pip install -e and dot. So -e is a flag that makes this editable, so that whenever I change something in my scripts, in my modules, then that will be reflected when we're importing it. So this is what I want to do. uv pip install -e, and dot means from this folder here. So it will look for the setup, and it will use this to set up the package. So I'll run this one. And you can see that it has installed a lot of other packages, right? Streamlit and other things. So if I do uv pip show travel planner, and you can see we found travel planner here. So travel planner version 1.0.0, that was what we installed, and the location where it is installed in the virtual environment. The project location is in this folder here, and it requires these packages here. Cool. Let's continue now. For example, what was the problem that I had before? I will remove all this init first, or close them down. Here we have dashboard.py. So still I cannot find a connect to API. However, I can now find it using from backend.connect to API. You see, it's found. Because if I run this one, we can see, okay, module not found, no module named backend. How come? Oh, PyEnv. Oh, I was in the wrong. Yeah, I'm in the virtual environment now. So if I run this one, yeah, it works. Okay, I was in the wrong Python environment. So I was in the global one when I ran this script, but now I'm in the virtual environment where I've installed this one. So that's why this will work. So that is cool. So for example, if I do Python, now I can from backend.connect to API import res robot. Cool, cool. So then I can do res robot like this, right? But I can also go into other. For example, let's see, I close this down first to show you, okay, this would work anyways because I'm in the root. However, if I go into, for example, utils, and here I can do Python, and I can do from, for example, here in the dashboard, I can just say variable x equals to 5, for example. So from frontend dot dashboard import x, no module named frontend. Okay. That has to do with me from frontend dot. Let me close this down. So I'm in utils. Okay, okay, let's see. Which environment am I in? So echo, env. Yes, I cannot find it. So I'm in the global Python environment. And that happens when I click the run button. Sometimes it just jump out of my virtual environment. It gives me a new Python environment, which is the global one. And inside the global one, frontend is not installed. Okay, that's cool. So let's activate this. So source /bin activate. And now if I do Python, so now I know that my virtual environment is activated. So Python, and then I can do from frontend dot dashboard import X. And I can, this code also runs because from my dashboard, I'm importing ResRobot and I'm doing the print, right? So everything also comes in, even if you do, when you're importing from a module, everything will run. That's why if I have print like this, it will run when I'm doing that. However, I've imported X, right? So I can use X here. So that is quite cool. So I can reach this wherever I am as long as I have activated my virtual environment, because I have installed my package, my library into my virtual environment. Cool. And you can see that I didn't need to install it again, even though I put in new code. So let's close this down and I will go in and put in the real code for the program and you can see it working. So first of all, dashboard, I will place in some code here. I'll copy in this code. And here I use, let's see, I import Streamlit and I take from plot maps, import trip map, and then I create something with trip map. And then basically it's a display map. So I'm just displaying a map of the stations between Malmö and Umeå, basically. And I'm using utils.constant import station IDs. So we don't have these things, right? So I'm importing things from different places. First, from plot maps, this would be very simple to just import, even if without installing, it would work if you're inside here, if you're inside the front end. However, from utils.constant wouldn't work. So let's do like this. I will go into plot maps and I will copy in that code as well. So this code is quite a little bit more advanced. So it's based on an abstract method that I have called the maps. And that means that every map that will inherit from this one has the same interface, so that it must implement this display map method. And that's the only thing that maps does. But then we have trip maps that is implementing this, that is inheriting from these maps, right? So it has to have this display map function or method. So this display map method basically just displays the map, and the map is a Folium map. I don't need to go into the details on that, but basically it's just putting out all the points where we have, so we use the latitude and longitudes, basically. And then I think this is all except constants. We have to go in there. So in utils.constants, and this is also a little bit new. This is enums. And basically what this does is it's a special type of class that makes it into an enum, which is a collection of name and value pairs. So this means it's for readability and type safety. So basically now you know that when you do station IDs, Malmö, then you will get Malmö, and then you take dot value and you will get this value here. So it's for type safety and readable. So basically now we have constants, and run dashboard is also interesting. This one we have to fill as well. So this one is very simple. It's just using sub-processes to run this. I don't have the front end path, I see. So I will put in the front end path here. From path lib import path, and then I will do root. I'll do like this: root path equals to path done the file dot parents of 1. So this is the root path because parents of 0 I'm in utils, 1 I'm in packaging. And then I will copy this one and I will call this front end. It's parents, it's root path divided by front end, basically. Just for the sake, I will take the back end as well. Oh. Okay, so basically I just take a front end path so that we are into the front end here so that I can use this one to go into the dashboard. So my run dashboard, it requires the whole path. So I import front end path. I take the front end path and put in dashboard.py so that I go into dashboard.py and run it. So basically, if I run this one, I click on run button now. And we can see that there's a Streamlit app going on. Let me take this one out. There seemed to be an error here. Yeah, okay. No module name connect to API in, let's see, from plot maps import trip map. Okay, let's see. From plot maps, from backend.trips. Okay, let's see what error. No module name connect to API. From connect to API import res robots. And this is inside of backend, so it's inside of trips. Right. Yes, I forgot to paste this one in. So go into trips. Okay, so basically this one is a trip planner class. And this one we take in resrobot and we create a resrobot here. And then this one basically picks out the next available trip. And there's also next available trips today, which is not implemented yet, but it's up for you to implement. But basically this returns a data frame, which can be used later on. So it contains the trip with all the longitude and latitudes for all the stops. And it gets the names of the stops as well. And also the times. So now let's go back to my dashboard. And you can see that this is my dashboard. I've written it in Swedish here, but no matter. You have a map of all the stations. Can make it bigger. So this is Umeå here. We had, was it from Malmö to Umeå or Umeå to Malmö? We can see here the time, 19, 0112. And into Umeå, we have 0113. Okay, 1125. So more than 12 hours to travel across Sweden. So from Malmö in the most south into not even the most north, but Umeå is quite north. So that was quite cool. And you can see there's text on station and time and the date. Cool. So that, but can we do it a little bit cooler? Yes, we can, because right now I need to go into the run dashboard and run it, or I can basically go in and Streamlit run in the terminal, Streamlit run and this dashboard. However, I don't want to do that. I want to set up so that I get something in the command line, like a command that I can use to directly run this dashboard. That is my goal. So I go into setup.py and I can do like this. Entry points. entry points equals to, let's see, it has to be a dictionary, console scripts. So what type of console scripts do I want? I want to have this dashboard is the name that I want to use. So dashboard, if I write dashboard in the terminal, I want this to activate. So what do I want to activate? I want to activate this tils dot run dashboard, basically. And here in the dot run dashboard, I have run dashboard function, right? So that is all. So if I save this one and I do dashboard, and you can see that it doesn't work. Yeah, command not found dashboard. That is because I changed the setup.py, then I need to reinstall it. So let's reinstall it, and I can call it 1.01, and I will do uv pip install. Or let's see, I'm inside of utils, I need to go up a step. uv pip install -e dot. Okay, so it reinstalled this package. And if I now write dashboard, cool. So you can see now I have a command line. I can write dashboard to start my dashboard. Oh, that is super cool. Okay, and with this, we have gone through how to install packages. I haven't gone through the code in detail, and it's a lot of code here. This is the beginning of a much larger project to show you that you're packaging a larger project, and it makes it very simple to import different modules when you have packaged it. This is really useful to learn, so make sure you learn packaging and your Python skills will elevate. Thank you for watching this video and see you in the next one. Bye!